guys, welcome back to Reddit Australia. I hope you're well and having a beautiful day. So what's up, guys? Hope everybody's well. Okay, so we're going to dive straight into these stories. This one was posted 1 day ago. Am I the a-hole for tricking my ex into admitting to her affair? Now let's find out and see if you really are or if she is. Pretty much the title, I felt something was off. So I went through her phone and found messages between her and a male friend that seemed suspect. Okay, they were discussing meeting up when she even never mentioned it to me. Flirting, talking in coded language about sex. Yeah, that's where she's gone wrong already. There was nothing overt, but still pretty sketchy. I figured she'd just lie and buried things deeper if I confronted her and she was actually cheating. So I set up a fake Instagram account and sent her a message saying I knew she was fucking her friend. Shit. Had the receipts and was going to contact her partner in 3 days whether or not she confessed. This dude is serious. The next day she sat me down and admitted to cheating, but wouldn't tell me who with or how long it has been going on. She was sorry, she loved me and wanted to make things work. It meant nothing, blah, blah, blah. I told her that I already knew sometimes these stories just shut me up. They really do. I told her I already knew and that it was me who had sent her the message. My ex lost it and I had to leave the apartment and go stay with a friend to get away from her. She was going along with most of her clothes, and when I came back the next day, she completely trashed the place while I was gone. Wow, talk about showing your guilt. This all happened a few weeks ago and it has been pretty tough ever since. It sucked having to find a new place to live and separating our stuff while dealing with feeling like shit. To make it worse, I'd met the guy several times, shaking his hand, bought him a drink, thought he was harmless. They never are. The pretending ones are the ones you gotta be worried about. People who just behave outright and show you who they are immediately, you can make the guess of what kind of character they are. But the one who pretends, they're the snake in the grass. I never cheated on anyone and assumed my ex was cut of the same cloth. No, she ain't. My ex is adamant that I am the a-hole for what I did to her, but I really don't feel like I owe her anything. So he wants to know, am I the a-hole here? I don't think you're not, actually. Yeah, you kind of sneaked her into it. You kind of backed her into a corner whereby she feels that she has to be honest. But to me, I will wonder why she felt she had to be honest. Is it because she was backed into a corner, or was it because she felt the truth was coming out and she wanted to relieve herself of the guilt and then pass it on to you? But when she realized you tricked her, she felt angered by it. She felt betrayed. That's the word. That's the word I'm reaching for. She felt betrayed. So I don't think you're the a-hole, but let's see what Reddit Australia has to say, because I think you're kind of spot on. I mean, would you do something like that? I mean, would you absolutely try and trick? I think I would, actually. I think that's something I would definitely go ahead and do. But let's see what other people have to say, and then my ex is adamant that I am an a-hole for what he did to her, but I don't really feel like I owe anything. Okay. This person's answering to the question, for what you did to her. Wow, she's desperately trying to find an offensive position. In reality, she's a victim blame, and I totally agree. Because she fell back into a corner, She should really be apologizing and felt ashamed for what she actually did. I applaud you for what you did, which was to catch her teaching and call her out. Guess the other dude can continue making his deposits. because she's morally bankrupt. You should send him a celebration bottle of wine as a gift for getting her out of your life. Yeah, DO2G is hardcore, isn't it? Wow. Does the other guy know she's a cheater? If not, well, he must know because he's met the boyfriend. He's shook his hands many times. He must know that they are together. So he himself is, you know, as he said, cut from the same cloth. Okay, so Old Links 4319 says, yeah, he knew about me. We spent several occasions together, being introduced to me as a friend. He's just as gross and morally bankrupt as her. They deserve each other. Vanderscreen said, not the a-hole. She's the one cheating. She's just mad you outsmarted her. Yeah, that's definitely the truth. She's upset that you did. No, somebody said not the possum. Oh my God, possum. Okay. Right, I think from looking at this here, most people is actually saying he's not the a-hole, to be honest. Some people call her a piece of shh. Okay. She's angry because you tricked her, backed her into a corner, and she felt she had no other alternative but was to come clean. And the fact that you tricked her, she probably feels more of an idiot to actually have fallen for it. But there is an update. So let's have a look and see what he actually said. Okay. So he said, I think my original post must have been shared on Facebook because my phone has been blowing up. It's mostly mutual friends and acquaintances asking if I posted it. So he obviously shared the story with them. I told a few people about how I'd caught her cheating, and I guess it wasn't hard. Of course, people are not stupid, aren't they? They put two and two together and voila, they come up with an answer, okay? A lot of them sent him screenshots of the post along with long abusive messages threatening all sorts of things. I blocked her. Oh my God. So she got threatened. Listen, human beings are hardcore. Some people really cross boundaries and sending people. Listen, there's no need to send anybody death threats for that. Come on, man, it's their relationship. You can take sides, but you don't have to take sides where you're threatening somebody's life. You know, that is not what you need to do. That's kind of shameful behavior, if you ask me. You don't do that to people. If you want to take sides, you take sides, but nah, that's just kind of below the belt, to be honest, you know, and breaking the law. Okay, I want to clear up a few things. They say going through her phone was wrong. This is what the original writer is saying, the Reddit poster, okay? I get that. To be honest, it's the first time I've ever done anything like that in a relationship, and it was only because there were so many things that gave me bad vibes, okay? Example, late nights, out with vague explanations, being caught in various lies, sleeping with her phone under the pillow, leaving it face down on the charger. I mean, these are all of the original signs that makes your partner notice that something is up. When you start acting like that, you know, that you know, because you think that, listen, one thing I have learned, if you think your partner is not paying attention, you're a fool. Don't be stupid. They are paying attention. They may not say anything to you, but they watch your move because they recognize the normal you. When you start going outside the norm, that is when they start noticing, because normally you wouldn't walk around with your phone. You wouldn't sleep with your phone. So if you start doing it now, of course something is wrong. But if you got to go to those lengths, end the relationship, isn't it? Give yourself respect in that situation. Just say, you know what, I'm not happy anymore, and move on. Okay, let's go back to what he has to say. I left the apartment because my ex has a history of violent behavior when she doesn't get her way. Well, it's quite evident in the fact that when you left, she trashed the house. You know, I didn't want to put myself in a compromising situation where she could either hurt me or make up stories about me hurting her. And that is so true, because women like that will make up lies and get you into deep trouble because they want their secret revenge. They wouldn't be honest because to them it's like, I'm going to get you now, you so and so. You know, that's what it's about for them. So in that situation, I would definitely say the smartest thing was to leave that house. Okay, I didn't want her to put my compromising position and make up stories about hurting her. I had a bug out. I had a bug out bag packed and ready before I sent the messages just in case. Well, then in this case, he knows who he's living with, isn't it? If he was already planned and ready to go, he knows who he's living with. She didn't do any real damage to the apartment, just threw my stuff around while having a tantrum. It took a few hours to clear up and nothing valuable was damaged, so I figured it was easier just to let it slide. You should have called the police. I'm sorry. She's destroying your items, your products. They're your possessions. They're not hers to destroy. I had to stay in contact with her while we divided up our joint finances, furniture and various stuff accumulated over the 4-year relationship. As of yesterday, that was all done, which is why I waited several weeks to make the initial post. She is now blocked everywhere. Yes, I took the cat with me. I'm not leaving the animal! It's coming with me! Okay, where was I? And I told my ex that I was the one who sent the messages because I wanted her to know. I suppose I could have played that hand differently, but I wanted the satisfaction of seeing the look on her face when she found out. It didn't feel that great in hindsight. Why not? I mean, you've got that facial memory to replay over and over again. I mean, so every time she sees you or she remembers you, the last thing she's going to remember is what you said, and she would know the look on her face. She would see the sheer embarrassment, the sheer shocked everything. So, yeah, you shouldn't feel upset about that. In fact, you should feel really happy that you did that. It was an easy way out. Why am I laughing at people's dilemma? Anyway, I wasn't planning on airing her dirty laundry on social media. Does Reddit count? Yes. Because I wanted to be above that sort of juvenile bull behavior. But it seems like the horse has bolted on that now. People know. People ain't stupid. People put 1 and 2 to 2 together, make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And yeah, they figure it out. Especially if you've got friends on Reddit, whether it's Reddit America, Reddit Australia, people would figure it out. So, as I said, people aren't stupid. So that's about it. He went on to say, you know, he hopes she has a new body now, and well, he says good luck to the new person that she was messing around with. But people are still saying that he is not the a-hole, and I certainly don't think he is, to be honest. It's kind of silly the way she got caught, but going back to it, I can see why, because she knows in her heart that she was doing something wrong. And the thing is, women, as I said before, women are very emotional. We carry everything in our minds, and if we are doing something, it echoes in our behavior. It definitely does. It echoes in our behavior. So your partner is going to know something is up. Come on. You know, I'm not encouraging you to do it. I'm just saying it cannot be hidden because our body language gives it away 100%. All right, so let's move on to the next Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for divorcing my wife after she asked for an open relationship and now I'm thriving while she isn't? Very risky question. Why do you want to share in the first place? Hey Reddit, I'm a bit of a situation. I'm starting to wonder if I am the bad guy here. I'll try to keep this short, but there's some context that might be important. So me, 34 male, wife, 32 female, and I have been married for 7 years. We've had a pretty great life together. I've built a successful business. I do pretty well for myself. I'll leave it at that. And we've traveled all over the world. We live in a beautiful house, the whole deal. I've always thought we were happy. Out of nowhere, a few months ago, my wife tells me she wants to open up our marriage. Her reason was that we were missing out on experiences and she wanted to explore her options. But she made it clear she still loved me and didn't want to break up. I was blindsided. We've never had an issue with intimacy or connection, and honestly, I'm in great shape. I've always been attentive to her needs, and I just didn't see it coming. That is deep, actually. I mean, as a man, if you think you're doing well and, your wife is giving you a different story, you will feel a bit hurt by that sort of question. You will feel like, you're not doing enough to make her happy. But let's continue to see what happens. At first, I was against the idea. But then I figured, okay, why not see what happens? Dangerous grounds, mate. Dangerous grounds. If this is what she wants, I am not going to stop her. I agree to give it a try, but with the condition that it goes both ways. If she was out meeting guys, I'm going to be out eating women too. Fair is fair. Fair is fair. One is not against the other. If you want to do something and you want to stay in the relationship, but you got to expect that he's going to do the same thing. So it is what it is. Well, here's where things got a little bit messy and ironic. As soon as we opened the relationship, I started meeting women left and right. I'm talking crazy success on dating apps. People I met through work, even casual flings while I'm traveling for business. Turns out being wealthy, fit, and confident tends to attract a lot of attention. Of course, women love that. Did you just realize? Women love that. So your wife is a fool already for even opening that door. I'll spare you the details, but let's just say I haven't exactly been lonely. My wife, on the other hand, yeah, not so much. Yeah, sometimes, men can be a bit critiqued because, if the older women don't look just right, it's kind of a downfall. So I guess she's probably feeling a bit of a how, as we say in the Caribbean. She's feeling a how. Anyway, let's continue, okay? A couple of guys ghosted her, and she's mostly frustrated that it's not what she imagined. Meanwhile, I'm having a blast. After a few months of this, I started to realize that I don't need to stay in a marriage where my wife was basically looking for an excuse to cheat on me. If she wanted to be single, then let's make it official. I filed for divorce, and now she's upset and saying that I'm pushing her for wanting to explore herself. But honestly, I just don't see the point in staying married if we're both dating other people. Why play house? That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I'm not sure how I feel yet if you're the a-hole, but that's a hard one. So now she's telling our friends that I'm being selfish and that I'm only divorcing her because she's not having as much success as I am in the open thing, which is absolutely not the case. I think we're on different paths now, and I've realized that I don't need to stick around when I can literally have my cake and eat it too. Am I the a-hole for filing divorce, or should I have tried harder to make her feel better about the situation she basically created? Edit, to clarify, I didn't start having fun out of spite. I genuinely went along into thinking it could work, but it just opened my eyes to the fact that we want different things. Also, the divorce isn't about her failing at the open relationship. It's about me realizing I don't want this life anymore. Wow, that's a difficult page, because things were fine. She opened a can of worms and he ate from that can. And now that can is being devoured, he wants more out of it. And she so now thinks that the can is not doing very well. But To be honest, I think he's kind of the a-hole, though. I don't know. I do kind of feel that way. Okay, yes, it was wrong of her to open that book, so to speak. But I do feel that after realizing she's not having so much success, do you then go back to her and say, do you want to stop this? Or I'm a bit on 2 pages. I'm thinking he isn't, and I'm thinking he is. In fact, I think she is, really, for not realizing what she has. And I think sometimes if you think your relationship feels a bit dull, there are couples, or there are counselors or relationship advisors you can go to spice things up, or use your imagination. You don't have to go outside of your relationship. Create that excitement in there. So in that sense, she is, and I think you are, in a way, for going along with it initially. I think you should have said no, and put your feet down as a man and say, no, that ain't happening. And if you insist, then you break up with her. But I think for you to go along with it and then realize that you're not having fun anymore. But hey, let's realize this. That great body and great ship is not going to last forever. I think sometimes people misunderstand what having a wife does, and vice versa, what having a husband does, and how it makes you feel better and healthy, and you look after yourself. So I think both of you are a-holes, to be honest. I don't think one is right and one is wrong. I think both of you are a-holes for actually going along with it. I think as a husband, you should have said no and shut it down. And if she insisted, that's when you filed for divorce. But I think to go along with it, having fun, and not realize, well, you're the man, I think you're wrong for doing that. But let's see what Reddit has to say. Somebody said, well, she wanted new experiences. You're not the a-hole. And they say, well, she's having that now. Yeah, that's a fair comment. She is having new experiences. I guess she's not as hot as she thought she was. Anyway, somebody said she's going to have tons of new experiences, such as like having to downgrade lifestyle, having to earn her own money, having to try and date again in her 30s, which is one of the worst dating markets like ever, having to watch OP start dating a nice girl in her junior, 16 to 10 years younger. That's almost how the story goes. And it's true. And that's why I said mature, attractive men doing well for themselves are very attractive to women. So not so much on the other side for women to think that they're more attractive to the men, which is one-sided. But that's the reality of life. And I think she was an idiot to actually do that, You got to realize when your basket's really overflowing, and, just start piling more up so that they can keep overflowing in your favor, Yeah, so a lot of people are saying that he is not the a-hole and she is. Bit of a sad story, this one. All right, let's move on to the next. All right, so Pleasant Growth is asking, am I the a-hole for refusing to continue to date because she showed up with a friend unannounced? Why would you do that? I don't get it. Why would you go to a date with your mate? Basically, got matched on Tinder for Saturday night. We agreed on some cafe in a public and she shows up, sorry. Basically, we got matched on Tinder for a Saturday date. We agreed on some cafe in a public, and she shows up with a friend of hers who's, to be fair, more attractive than herself. So when I met them, I asked, what's up? And she said, I brought a friend, if you don't mind, just to be more comfortable. Girl, you're a grown girl. If you don't want to be in that situation, don't go. If you're going to be on Tinder, knowing what Tinder stands for, you meet random people and you go on a date. You can't be taking somebody with you. What childish behavior is that? Talking what you'll feel more comfortable. Grow up. Grow up is what I say. Anyway, I replied, I thought this was a date since I specifically asked you if you would like to go out for food and drinks with me. She basically said her friend wanted to come for security reasons. Well, you and your friend together? That's a bit odd. I got annoyed and said, I'm not doing 3-person dates. Sorry, I have one. Have a good one. And left. Totally agree. Totally agree, mate. You're a 20-year-old man. You don't need that rubbish. With most, I'm 27-year-old with almost no free time looking for a serious partner, not some situationship for a fun night. My profile clearly states looking for something serious and long-term. Is this normal to bring a friend on a date, or am I just behind with the times? No, you're not. I'm telling you now without even reading what Reddit Australia has to say. No, you're not. If your profile actually says you're looking for a serious relationship, she should have respected that. In fact, I think she got off lightly. I would have actually have a go at her and say, listen, it's not on. Be a grown girl. You might as well have a picture of you and your friend on your profile if you're going to be bringing your friend with you. So let's see what Reddit has to say. Even as a woman, that situation is weird to me. Yes, having a friend close by or even going somewhere we know the people is smart for security reasons. However, to bring the friend along on your date is just weird. That's it. It's totally weird. I mean, here what you could have done. You could have asked a person to go on a date with her other half, and the both of you go to the same places. You go to the restaurant to meet up, and you sit and you talk and you observe from a distance. All right? Your friend watch you from a distance. When you feel confident, you could have just shoot off to the bathroom. Your friend follow you and say, you know what? I'm feeling okay. And then she can shoot off. But you don't have to bring her to the date, especially without even telling him in advance. So yeah, you're not the a-hole, mate. Let's see what somebody else has to say. Somebody said, I mean, you could try. You also might just end up paying for 3 meals and get ghosted. Very true. What's the point? He didn't sign up for that, so I don't think he should have entertained it. I think he did the right thing by just walking away, to be honest. Right? So I totally agree that you are not the a-hole, and I think hopefully she learns her lesson. I think if you want to do that, be open and upfront about it. All right, this one is a bit crazy, actually, but let's go. Posted 8 hours ago, all right? Middle Jury 3867 says, am I the a-hole for being upset that my boyfriend ditched our anniversary for a trip with his friends? Well, I'll look at it this way before I even read further. He can go on a trip with his friends at any time, but your anniversary only comes once a year. And I know as women, we look forward to these things. It's a big thing for us. It's a big deal for us. We plan this romantic gesture in our heads. So I think for him to even book a trip on that date is wrong. He could have booked it after the date or even before and come back home in time for your anniversary. But let's see what happens. I'm 27 and my boyfriend Matt is 29. We've been together for 4 years and our anniversary was last weekend. It wasn't a big milestone or anything, but it's still our anniversary. So I figured we'll do something nice together. We had made loose plans to go out for dinner and spend the day together. Nothing fancy, just time for the two of us. 2 days before, Matt tells me his friends are planning a last-minute weekend trip to the mountains. They were going to go hiking and camping, and he asked if I'd be cool with him joining them instead of sticking to our plans. I didn't really know, excuse me, I didn't really know how to respond at first. I was kind of shocked. And even though that he even considered going away with his friends on our anniversary, but I didn't want to be the girlfriend who says no to everything. You should have said no. You should have put your foot down. Stop pretending. People listen. Stop pretending to be nice. Just be yourself. If you be yourself, people can accept you for who you are. Don't don't try and be nice. You know what? I would say this though with a pinch of salt. When you are in your 20s and you're getting older, and sometimes the reaction is not what you really portray. And what I mean by that is because you are still young in your growth of becoming an adult, right? Because people think, yes, you're 29 and you're adult. But sometimes we are still naive in relationships. We don't know how to respond appropriately. Instead of being honest, we kind of take a back seat and kind of relax and we get withdrawn and just don't be honest and say, no, you're not going. It is our anniversary. You're afraid to do that. And I can understand that because you're still learning about life, isn't it? You're still learning. Even in those 27s and 28, 29 age gaps, you are still learning. So I think you should have, in that moment, said, no, you're not going. I disagree. All right? But let's see what actually continues. The relationship has honestly been amazing. We've never had major issues, and he's always been thoughtful and loving. I have no intention of leaving him over this, but I'm just taken aback and don't know how to confront him because something like this has never happened before. I think what she's thinking is probably that, he's probably losing interest or something for him to suggest to go away with his friends. Okay. And I also feel as well that if you're in a long-term relationship, you need to make sure that both parties is in agreement that birthdays and anniversaries are important and you spend them together. And I think that eliminates these future problems if you have that agreement between you. And if one has to break it, it has to be a reason, a main reason as to why it's going to be broken. Okay, in the end, he went on the trip. He left the morning of our anniversary and didn't even check in with me. No texts, no calls. I spent the entire day feeling hurt and honestly questioning where I stand in this relationship. I tried distracting myself by hanging out with friends, but all I could think about was how he chose them over me and what's supposed to be a special day for us. It's a special day for you. That's the reality. Special day for you. And women, as I said, are very emotional about things like this. When he got back, he acted like nothing happened, of course, because he ain't thinking along those lines. I told him how upset I was, but he doubled down, saying I was overreacting and that we could celebrate any time. He said I was making a bit about me and that he rarely gets to see his friends, so I should understand. I don't want to be controlling. You're not being controlling at all. You're just telling him how you feel. Don't mix up the two. But I thought our anniversary would be a priority for him, even if it's just a small celebration. Now I'm starting to wonder if I'm in the wrong for being upset. Maybe it's not as big as a deal as I thought, but it feels like it should matter more, right? Am I the a-hole for being upset that my boyfriend ditched me for a weekend with his friends? I think you have a right to feel upset. I think probably what you guys could have done was sat down and talk about it in detail and say whether or not celebrating on that day was the important day. Yeah. Or celebrating another day. But it should have been an agreement. And that's why I said you should have actually asked him, do you need to go? I don't really want you to go. Are we going to celebrate? You should have laid your ground rules on how you felt before he left. You should not have pretended it was okay. And then when he comes back, now you're feeling hurt. Or, you spend the day. I think you're wrong for that, definitely. But I don't think he's the a-hole. Men are different. I don't think he is not into you or anything like that. I just think men are different. Sometimes they just want their boy times, and it may fall in inappropriate times. But you should have said to him, if you're going on this trip, then you got to make it up to me. This is what I would expect on your return. That's what I would have done as and see what his response was. And then you would have known exactly how he feels, how important it is to celebrate. You know, some men are different. You know, some men are different. Some men, they haven't the mindset of thinking these are things that are important to women and they should make sure it's done. And some I think, oh, it's just a date, you know. But let's see what Reddit has to say. Celebrating the exact day is not important to me, but it's important to you. So that's the main point. Exactly. If he has say something like, I'm sorry that we won't be celebrating on the next exact day, but I've got something planned. Yeah, see, fair enough. On the following week, is that okay? I'm sure she will feel better. So yeah, I totally agree with that. So that is what should have happened. Okay, Ambaria says, that's what sticks out to me. He keeps saying that they can celebrate another day, but made no effort to make a new plan. If you're the one cancelling the plan and making the comments about different celebration, in my opinion, it's on you. Totally agreed. And that's why I said you should have said to him, have you got something else planned for us, you know? So let's read one more of somebody's response and says, okay, Rogue Sterling says, surely he and his friends could also go on a trip at another time. That I thought of as well. If I were OP, I would have a few concerns. Her partner bailed on their anniversary, didn't acknowledge or text her despite knowing the day itself is important to her, brushed her off, refused to empathize with her, made no alternative plans to celebrate their relationship, offered no apology, acted like everything was fine when he knows it's not, and cancelled on concrete plans for a last-minute offer. I mean, that sounds fair too. I mean, you can also think, did he really go off with the friends? Or did he go somewhere else? You just don't know. This may not be breaking up worthy in itself, but I wouldn't be surprised to find that it's part of a large pattern of behavior. And this is where expression of opinions matters. You know, laying down how you feel in your relationship right off the beginning, rather than leaving it to build up. Because she needs to, because it will happen again. That's the thing. It will happen again. It won't be the first time. It won't be the second time. It won't be the third time. But if you lay ground rules, the first time it happens, you know very well it ain't going to happen again because you've already laid the ground rules. And if it does, you got to make sure there's consequences to that. So I think most people are saying she's not the a-hole, but it could have been that he needs to or should have responded better in that relationship. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up there today and jot down below, tell me what you think of these Reddit Australia stories. I look forward to hearing from you. Hit me up, leave a like, a comment, and a feedback, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now, and happy Reddit reading. Right.